Welcome to Lucas Oil on the Edge, coming to you from Naples, Florida with the always entertaining Swamp Buggy races. We've got a lot of fun stuff in store with the Jeep Scramble, the little, intermediate, and big features. Let's find out who will be on top with OTE.
Got it tacked up, and if you get too close, you're getting cracked up. Stone cold when I roll, coming out of the hole. Get back, cause I'm out of control. I'm on the edge.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get a little dirty here today, but we're gonna have a lot of fun. Ken Stout and Brian Olson, it's time to go Swamp Buggy racing, and it's presented by Lucas Oil. We're in southern Florida, Naples, Florida to be exact, at Florida Sports Park, and rumor has it Rob Klepper is also in the house, although we have not seen him yet so far today. But we have seen the lovely ladies, and of course, the Swamp Gator is here as well. If you've never seen Swamp Buggy racing, well, hold on. This is a lot of fun. Oh, rumor has it, we found Rob Klepper.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, and welcome to the Florida Everglades. As Justin and I, my camera guy, well, we're pretty much lost looking for the Malamud. What I do know, though, is that it is a mile of mud. 7/8 mile oval with an 8-mile diagonal cut right through the middle. 2 sippy holes, 5 feet in depth. Causes a lot of trouble for these buggies, and of course 18 inches of water. But if you look at the history, as I'm a little bit out of breath from walking around the beautiful Florida Everglades, the history of swamp buggy racing started back in the 30s. Some hunters getting together, building these crazy machines to cut through the Everglades so they could hunt, take their families out on Sundays and have a nice day. Then one farmer said, hey, you want to race? And that's where it was born. 1949, the first feature won by Johnny Jones, and since then, these things have become very impressive. A lot of horsepower, they skip across the water, and the fans here go crazy. Now, if we can find the Malamud, we're going to keep looking. It's going to be one heck of a day.
Good luck, Rob, and watch out for the Gators. All right, time now for the Jeep Scramble. We've got 9 of them. This class is a blast, and watch the starter. He's on the right side of the screen. No green flag here. Yep, you just sling that white hat, and it's on.
And a white hat started. Here we go, baby.
Good times, man. Jeremy White is out front already with the general lead, the orange Jeep. And you can notice that the air cleaners on these vehicles are way up above the roll cage to try and keep some dry, fresh air coming in.
Yeah, the exhaust cylinders are up there a little ways too, but that's not nearly as critical, Ken, as you mentioned, the air cleaner, because when these things hit that sippy hole, if you get moisture on that motor, he's raised the hood here. It looks like he's getting ready to check the oil, but if you get water or moisture in that motor inside of it, that baby will shut off in a heartbeat, and your day is done.
Boy, and a good battle going on for second place back there as they fall in line. You'll see them, they'll try to hug the center for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's a little shorter way around. Second of all, the ground is a little bit higher, and the sippy hole really affects these Jeeps. I mean, they'll all but disappear. And the sippy hole, the hood comes open this time, and he's off. And they just stack up behind him.
Oh, man, all he wanted to do was check his oil, and it turned into a 4-car collision. Unreal.
I mean, I could see second place because he was right there behind him, but right there, the number 81 that was back there in 4th place really should have been able to steer clear of what he saw there, and unfortunately was not able to. So Hoffman will pick up the lead, and of course that was Sean Golden, the 81, the War Jeep, who really just stuffed it up and stacked up a couple guys along with him.
Standard deal, man, just like on the highway. First car just slams on the brakes for whatever reason, or that baby went dead, like we talked about if you get water in the motor, and I think the actual motor did die. Bramblin' Man, number 14 right here, was in the 5th spot. Steve Hoffman now goes from 5th to 1st, and he's at the tail end of the lap here to take a win.
Yeah, and you can see the hand signals there from some of the vehicles that are stopped. By the way, notice the seaweed hanging out of the left front headlight hole and where the bucket would go. Of course, good times, man. These guys have an absolute blast in this Jeep Scramble category. And with 9 of them out there, you never know what's going to happen.
Well, let's make it perfectly clear. While we may chuckle here from time to time about it because we're really enjoying what we are seeing, these guys are very, very serious when they hit that water puddle. they want to win these events, no question about it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of technology that goes into it. Don't think you're just going to run out there and beat these guys, because you will not. You notice right off the bat, of course, the wheels and tires are purposely built. And there's that sippy hole. The Jeep goes completely under. And, yeah, it takes a little bit of technology and preparation to get one to run through that thing as well.
And even the drivers and the co-pilots, if there is one, you notice on 2 there is, 1 there is not. There's always that chance. They want to be right there of that vehicle in front of you going dead into water. Not the case here, though. Checkered flag goes out for your champion. The Ramblin' Man, baby, comes from 5th place. Seaweed and all can for the win.
Excellent job for him. He had inherited the lead after the General Lee stumbled for a moment and brings home the win. Let's go down around and talk to the winner.
And a very wet Steve Hoffman. A pretty crazy race out there. A lot of carnage, but you guys didn't even know it was over.
No, we actually didn't see the checkered flag, so we just kept on going, you know. There's another guy behind me, and he was going as long as he's racing, we're racing.
A lot of beating and banging out there. How much fun is it to run a Jeep here at the Malamud?
It's a blast, man, really. It's my first time actually coming down here. We built this Jeep. A couple buddies of mine helped me, and it's the first time coming down, man. I'm hooked now. Got it in my blood now.
It's in his blood, guys. Steve Hoffman gets the win here at the Malamud.
Listen up, Lucas Oil on the Edge fans. It's time to prove how much you love OTE by downloading the free Lucas Oil on the Edge app for your iPhone and iPad. You can check out the OTE schedule, see past shows, and meet the cast. In addition, you can browse the OTE apparel. This is an app that has it all and is a must for every Lucas Oil on the Edge fan. This episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge has been brought to you by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Ready Liftoff Road Suspension. A new revolution in off-road suspension design and development.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil on the Edge. We're moving on to the little feature that'll show the #1 drivers in the Jeep 4-cylinder and air-cooled classes. The winner will move on to the intermediate feature. Hang on, it's all on OTE.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. Yeah, it's kind of a king of the hill, if you will. When you come out here, you have a chance to win it all, and it doesn't matter what class you're in. Of course, you're going to have to take on the big boys. Winner of the little feature goes to the intermediate feature. Winner of that goes to the big feature to take on the modifieds.
And Steve Armstrong, the pilot of Evil and Wicked, moving on to the little feature, so that's got to put a smile on your face.
Oh, yeah, man, that was an awesome race, man. That was right down to the wire there. That was my oldest boy, Jeremy. I was racing against General Lee. It was a good race, hard fought.
Talking about these Jeeps, just how much fun is it to run one of these Jeeps here in the Malamud?
I love it. I've been doing it 28 years. We ran in another class, the stock class, for a while, and we went back to the Jeeps. Got 5 or 6 of them we bring out of our shop. It's a blast. A lot of beating and banging, and more competition in the other classes as far as I'm concerned.
Guys, the fans love the Jeeps as Armstrong's moving on to the little feature.
And as is typical in racing, when you get to a class that has price point, there's more of them, and you have more fun. It might not be the fastest ones out there, but they have a lot of fun. All right, here is the little feature. You can see the 4-cylinder, the Jeep is obvious, and then, of course, John Parks in the Sidewinder. That's out of the air-cooled class.
And the 4-cylinder Cold Duck. Now, the Cold Duck name has been around here forever and ever, and that is C.D. Clams. And I mean, he took the lead right from the start over the Sidewinder. That is the air-cooled machine. Total different engine combination there. But I will tell you right now, the Cold Duck comes around the corner, got that old Rebel helmet on there, and gives them a little bang to the crowd there one time. Here comes the air-cooled machine right behind him.
Yeah, that is John Parks in the air-cooled machine. And then, of course, in the Jeep is Steve Armstrong. It's called Evil and Wicked. A good bit slower machine, but you still have a shot at winning and advancing to the next if the other guys break down. And, of course, you see CD Clamps here with the Cold Duck. All the innovations of a Pro Mod, but it has the 4-cylinder in the back.
Yeah, those 4-cylinders can make some steam. You can put those things on a dyno, and you can make 4 to 405, 410 horsepower, depending on who your motor builder is. They've also, if you look right by those front wheels, got those skis. Now, as this machine makes its way through the sippy hole, you'll notice the Clams machine, the Cold Duck, will not sink down like the Jeep or so much as the air-cooled machine either. and that will give him a big advantage overall.
Yeah, you can see that shot there across the island, how much more speed he had. Took him a little while to get it going, but he sails right through the sippy hole. He just went through it. You mentioned it before, it's hard to detect because when they get enough steam, they pretty much glide right over the top of the sippy hole, unlike the Jeep over there on the backside. They were struggling just a little bit. So
yeah, actually got lapped, I do believe, right there at the checkered flag. No checkered hat here. The Jeep guys will give him away as he heads by.
All right, we'll be right back. When we come back, it's time for the intermediate feature. Welcome back to South Florida here with Lucas Oil on the Edge. Time now for the intermediate feature. It was CD Clams in the 4-cylinder machine that won the little feature. Now he'll have to take on two faster vehicles, Bobby Williams and the Mudbone. Love the name of that one. It's a 6-cylinder vehicle. And then we have the Lady Liberty, and that is driven by Lori Johns.
Lori Johns on the far left of your screen right there.
Oh, and she was late.
Woo! Talk about getting treed, and there wasn't even a Christmas tree around there to be had.
She was safe, though, when she left the starting line, and she will lead them into turn one because that thing has some steam.
It has got the power. Now, if you are behind Lori Johns in any way, shape, or form, as you can see right there, when you look at the other machine, the Mudbone car, I mean, you will get nailed by that water. So part of the reason Mudbone had to go to the outside was to be able to physically see.
You're absolutely right. I mean, the wake and the spray off of these things is huge and can cover pretty much the entire width of the track whenever they're going through some of these turns. But she is not worried about it at all. Standing on the throttle, man, and it is rocking and rolling. Keep in mind, there's a strong 8-cylinder power plant inside of that one.
Yeah, it's not quite a pro mod category machine, but I will tell you this. They call it V8 Sportsman, but I promise you that baby's not got a 283 underneath the body of that machine, and right straight through that sippy hole like
what
it doesn't
sippy hole?
like it didn't even exist. Lori Johns, your champ.
Yeah, she really stands on the throttle. She's coming around here, and of course, looking to pick up the checkered flag. She got off to her start that was just a little bit late, but after that, she was picture perfect. She'll have to be on her game at the start when she gets to the big feature.
And guys, Lady Liberty in the big feature. Congratulations, Lori Johns, taking home the intermediate. But what do we have for these pro mods when we get into the big feature?
Oh, for the pro mods, I'm sorry, I don't have enough is what I don't have. But I'm still just thrilled to be out there with them. And if by some act of God, one of them breaks down, I end up in second place if I'm lucky then. So.
We wish you all the best. Good luck.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Lucas, for being here.
We love to hear from our fans. Go to www.facebook.com and become a fan of Lucas Oil on the Edge. Join our OTE private group or like our page. Then post your comments about this Lucas Oil on the Edge episode.
We're back with Lucas Oil on the Edge. We're ready for the main event here in Naples, Florida, the big feature. Lady Liberty, Roll On, and Fatal Attraction are at the line and ready to go. Will the women dominate, or can the lone man make a run for the win? Let's find out right now.
Once again, let's take a look at this ladder here because it was CD Clams who won the little feature, and then he was eliminated by Lori Johns in the intermediate feature. It's time now for the big feature.
And guys, for Bonnie Walsh, the 2005 world champion, trying to win a big feature at the Malamud. You're in the big feature. Can you get it done today?
I don't know. Dan's pretty tough to beat. But we're going to give it everything we got.
Crew, obviously, right when you came off the racetrack, pull that hood off. What are they looking for? What are they tuning on to get ready for that race?
They're doing everything they can back there. They'll just double check everything.
Guys, normally she would get out and fraternize, have something to eat, but she's ready to rock as they are ready to go in this big feature.
The engine bonnet, as they might call it, over the pond.
Yeah.
Speaking of the pond, this is more of a lake, if you will, man-made. Of course, the sippy hole. Two pro mods in action here. These things make some big-time steam, and right off the bat, it is Bonnie Walsh with a huge hole shot.
The motors in these machines are the type that you might see in a pro mod type racing vehicle or a pro extreme car or a pro nitrous machine. Wow, look at that thing.
Man, talk about launch. And I got to tell you, at the start, it looked like Dan Greenling really leaned on Lori Johns to the point that Lori had to get out of the throttle, quite possibly because neither one of them could see where they were going out of the wake here from Bonnie, because Bonnie is on the gas.
Man, just listen to that thing sing.
I mean, in absolutely no fear. She's carrying some big-time corner speed as well.
Fatal Attraction, she calls that baby, black with pink flames on it, and Bonnie Walsh will win the big feature here.
It doesn't take long. You can see her pounding on that steering wheel. She knew she had a shot at winning the big feature here today. Look at her hand, her left hand. She starts pounding on that steering wheel. She is excited.
Yeah, she's rocking and rolling, baby, because she knows she's going to take the checkered flag and the big feature win here.
And guys, Bonnie Walsh climbing out of Fatal Attraction, the 2005 world champion, gets it done. Not only does she get the whole shot, but puts on a clinic. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. It's unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
Talk about that, going into turn one through the sippy hole, you had the lead and you just checked out from there.
I just stayed on it and gave it everything it had. It's just unbelievable. I'm just lost for words right now.
Well, guys, the crowd was going crazy. The crew was going crazy as Walsh wins the big feature here in Florida.
Don't go away. We're not done yet. We still have the figure 8 truck race coming up next.
This episode of Lucas Oil on the Edge has been brought to you by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world. General Tire. Anywhere is possible. Ready Liftoff Road Suspension. A new revolution in off-road suspension design and development.
Welcome back to Lucas Oil on the Edge. Time now for a bonus race from Route 66 Raceway. It's a figure 8 race in the mud.
Thanks a lot, Jamie. All right, talk about packing the stands. They do it here at Joliet, especially for the Tough Truck Figure 8 race presented by General Tire. This place always puts on a great show, Brian.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they have the big Demolition Derby series here. You can see some of those cars in the background, and truly sell-out crowds for these events. Right now, though, it's trucks figure 8 style.
And here is your General Tire Figure 8 truck starting grid. You mentioned it before. They also hold the Team Demolition series here as well that they sell out for. But this is drastically different here, of course, coming out with the trucks. The green flag flies, and they run the opposite direction as well. So more of a counterclockwise rotation here as we get things started.
The thing you want to do, and you can see very well here at Joliet, that they wet this track down very substantially. I mean, it is wet. But the key is here is when you get to the point of meeting at that intersection of the figure 8, you want to try to get through there before your competition without touching the brakes and leave the guy out front. Right about like that.
Yeah, we should tell you, part of the reason for making it so wet and sloppy is to help slow these guys down just a little bit because they have big motors and they are not afraid to whale into somebody at speed.
And the machine right there of Phil Duffin. Now, some of the names you might recognize as being part of the other series as well. Oh, the 30 will get spun out right there. That's Pete Morse going around. Oh, he's going to get hung up there.
Well, I'll tell you, talk about frustrating. I guarantee you, you just want to climb out and get after the guy for turning you completely around, and he takes himself out as well. So it was just pointless to do.
Terribly pointless. And then there's just two less guys, unfortunately, to have to worry about. They're trying to get that hook, but for them, they're like, it's pretty well over with.
Yeah, Duffin doing a great job of negotiating the intersection and around those two that had spun out. Staring out of traffic as well, and you might want to take a look at the tires as well. You see they put those little minis on there, and it's not uncommon for them to fill those things with concrete so they don't get flat tires. They do a lot of special things to make sure they stay in the hunt.
Yeah, there are a lot of tricks to these things. When you go to do the demo derby machines, some legal, some not quite as legal. And I got to tell you, I don't know if they oh, man, there's a big hit right there.
That was Mike Zarn who took the big hit in the intersection. Let's watch it one more time. Oh, yeah, he takes a lick right there.
See, the number is to give me the lick in there. I think it's a 12 machine of Joe Fry. Donnie Lutz, your new leader, though.
And a good look at the 13 machine of Donnie Lutz. He is our new leader now and getting some heat from the number 8 right there behind him. That's Steve Smith.
Donnie was mixing it up over there earlier with the 67 of Phil Duffin. And when it was all said and done, he was the guy that came out front. Big 13 on the side of that Chevrolet truck. And he is your leader.
On the gas, too. I mean, he's flat tracking that thing down through there, driving it really, really well. So Lutz Doing a good job here. If he can stay out of trouble for the rest of this race, we'll have a shot at it.
One thing about it, when you come to Joliet, you're not going to find it. You mentioned this before, Ken. You're not going to find a lot of machines that have just plain old stock engines under the hood. You're going to find
And they collect our leader.
That first and second right there. Yeah, 67 was running second. Duffin was trying to catch that 13. Might have had a little bit of help from one of his buddies there taking him out.
Yeah, Duffin was the previous leader and got hung up. Then it was the 13 that took over the lead, and they actually had contact in the intersection. That shows you how far ahead Lutz actually was.
There we go. Once again, Lutz in that bright yellow lettered 13 machine. And I got to say, you what, Duffin really kind of took the short end of the stick there by getting hemmed up a little bit ago. That certainly must have been a Lutz buddy deal or something went on.
So far, so good, though. Since that moment, he has had pretty clean running in front of him, dealing with the traffic once again. 37, one of the lappers he's got to negotiate out and around.
That's another one of the things you got to worry about when you're as good as the 13 is you got to worry about what they call back markers. Those are the trucks that are at the tail end of the pack, if you will.
Boy, that intersection was packed. People sitting there waiting for it to clear up. You've got lappers in front of you. You're trying to make a little time. You got them sitting dead stick all over the track. You're out and around. And he still hasn't cleared that 37. Oh!
I got to tell you, some of them are taking shots at him, like they would normally. They had our Demolition Derby here that they had the big series, which is a different style of Demo Derby racing.
Yeah, the 71 there, minus the right rear tire, is not going to give it up. That's Mike Harrington. Talk about some wild paint colors.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was a nice one there. I'll say one thing, that 13, he is set up right. He really is. Give Lutz credit. Give him credit because that thing looks like it's got all the right stuff. It's got good belts in it. It's got the right gear, but most importantly, he's got power in that truck. Just listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, right there. I mean, he stood on the throttle, and that thing definitely launches hard.
One of the things you can do when you take those headers and what they would call a zoomy header, you make them small like that. The actual circumference, I don't take the checkered flag right here. You make those things small like that, you can create down low torque real easy. That's one of the things you need here.
All four wheels digging, and Donnie Lutz hangs on. Ron Bloor right behind him, and Phil Duffin in the 67, the previous leader, hangs off at third. Hope you enjoyed all the great racing action from South Florida all the way up to Joliet, just outside of Chicago. We had a blast with Rob Klepper and Brian Olson. I'm Ken Stout. You're not living unless you're on the edge.